Welcome to the second episode of season 2 on Just a Breezy Chat. I know it's been a good hot minute, but I am back, ready than ever. School's slowly coming to an end for the semester, so I'm getting a little bit more spare time. Um, I also have a few announcements I need to make. I have started a new podcast. It's called Sassy Southern Belle, and you can find it on wherever you get your podcast. I also in Just a Breezy Chat is now on Pandora and SiriusXM as well as Spotify and YouTube. Um, so this season I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Um, so I'm gonna start talking about like my childhood and making my way up to present day. So probably by the end of I think we're gonna be I think we'll be ending in high school, if I'm not mistaken, but at the end of this 8 episode season. But, see, most of y'all know that I didn't have an easy childhood. I was the product of a teen pregnancy. My mom didn't even know she was pregnant with me until she went to the doctor. And I was the second child, so I was the baby of the family. It makes a lot of sense, though, being the baby, right? But anyway, um, but my childhood was not the easiest by no means. From up until about the third grade, I lived with my grandparents and then my dad and stepmaster at the time. Yes, we call her my stepmaster. Reasons I think we can all figure out why she's called a stepmaster. Lived up. She really treated me like the redheaded stepchild. Oh goodness. And it was like one of those things where it was just like I had to every other weekend with my mom and stepdad. But my grandparents primarily had custody of us until about the third grade. And that's when um we would go live with Benny Clay and with my real dad. Don't want to say his name too much on here. Um and his wife at the time. Marriage didn't last long for obvious reasons. I don't think I have to explain that part. But my grandparents where lived in rural Alabama was like this hill. It was my grandparents, an aunt and uncle, and then another aunt and uncle. So it was like me, my sister, and two cousins. So we were all kind of close growing up on my dad's side of the family. And not to go into too much dirty laundry, but but we didn't really get to see my mom's side growing up, which it's really hit. Like, I really think did a lot of damage to us growing up, honestly. Which I stop and think about, it didn't do damage, but we weren't as close as siblings as cousins should be, once we became teenagers and adults. Like, we just didn't have that because we didn't grow up around each other. We didn't know, who each other was, really. And it all had a lot to do with my mom and my bio dad. Just result of this family didn't like this family, yada yada, all that stuff, right? Anyway, but one thing in my childhood that I don't like talking about too often because one is just see, here's the thing. I used to admit that I used to not, I used to hate the word victim. I really did because I thought by admitting that I was a victim of something that I would be admitting to the sexual abuse that happened to me when I tried so hard to forget it. I also was physically abused as a child, emotionally and stuff like that. So my childhood was not the easiest by no means. Um, but by the time I reached the fifth grade, I would move with my mom and my stepdad, which not airing any dirty laundry didn't really help out either. It just made me want to crave stability more as I got to be an adult and get out of that house. And I'm glad, and I did. 3 days after I graduated high school, I got out of that house and I haven't been home since. But I lost all contact with my real dad. Um, the only few people I stayed in touch with was an aunt and uncle and a cousin and my momo on that side of the family. But like my mom and I, we were in a period of our relationship. So, cause she really depended on me a lot growing up, like emotionally dependent, and it really takes a toll on you, cause you get told you're supposed to be they want you to be this strong person who has it all together. In reality, you really don't, and that's the scary part right there. Everybody expects it from you, and it kind of just takes a toll on your mental health, honestly. But it just kind of like transpired like to the adult years. I'm not gonna lie, like I have a very rocky like adult year starting off. My early 20s was not the best to me. There was like a downward spiral that happened that I'm not proud of, honestly. It's like I could blame it on being young, but it's also just because my childhood and wanting to escape, like I blocked out a lot of it, and it really took a toll on my mental health and everything. But like, but it did create me some goals being moving forward. Um, One of the goals it did create that when I sit down, when I'm ready to start a family, I want it to be because I have my degree and and I'm ready for it. I don't like it also like growing up the way I did, like it taught me that it made me very eerie to trust men. So, like, and be very eerie with the relationships that I have because I just seen what it's like when two emotionally immature people raise a child and what happens. I really do. And not saying it's a bad thing, but kids shouldn't have to be the adult as a child. They should have a bit chance to be a kid, honestly. But like, I saw like I'm the first in my family to go to college. I'm the first in my family to basically start I'm breaking generational cycles because in my family there's not trying to air any dirty laundry, but like there's years of like traumatic trauma and everything else that needs to be broken going forward because I don't want my children knowing what it's like to be abused, what it's like to have to struggle or live below the poverty line like I did. I want my children to know that they are loved and they shouldn't have to fight for love. And they shouldn't have to be separated from those just because they're trying to figure out who they are. But yeah. Well, that is it for this episode. I will see y'all next time, and y'all have a great day.